The following is a rendition of my journal entries from the craziest thing that has ever happened in my life. Whether you believe me or not, I just need to get my story out. As you'll soon learn, my previous attempts haven't been so successful. May 7th, 2021. I never thought my fascination with the Whisper Hollow caves near our farm in the Midwest would lead me into the depths of a mystery so profound and unsettling. It was meant to be a simple escape from the uneventful days of rural life, a little adventure to break the monotony. Yet, as I jot down these lines, my hands are shaky with a mix of dread and an overwhelming urge to unearth what should have remained hidden. The day remains etched in my memory. The morning was brisk and invigorating, the sky a seamless azure. I had decided to venture into the cave system on our property's edge, a place the locals hesitantly referred to as Whisper Hollow. Superstition and eerie tales had long deterred the townspeople from wandering near it, but I've always been one to scoff at such folklore. Armed with a flashlight and a backpack, I stepped into the cave, the cool, musty air greeting me like an ancient, forgotten whisper. The initial caverns were vast and empty, stalactites and stalagmites forming natural sculptures that seemed almost otherworldly in the dim light. But it was deeper in the cave where things took a turn towards the inexplicable. I stumbled upon a narrow passage that wasn't on any of the maps I'd studied. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, I squeezed through the tight space, emerging into a smaller chamber that seemed untouched by time. It was here, in the eerie silence of this hidden cavern, that I found the first oddity, a metal box, rusted and partially buried under sediment. The box was a relic, likely from the mid-20th century, and it took some effort to pry it open. Inside, I found a stack of yellowed documents, brittle to the touch, and a series of photographs depicting children in what appeared to be a clinical setting. My heart pounded in my chest as I sifted through the papers. Most were technical jargon I couldn't understand, but a few words stood out with chilling clarity. Project MKULTRA. Experimentation. Behavioral modification. The realization hit me like a wave. I had heard of MKUltra, the infamous CIA mind control program, but to find something linked to it in Whisper Hollow was beyond comprehension. The photos were haunting, the eyes of the children reflecting a mixture of confusion and fear. What was this place? A forgotten site of government experiments? I repacked the box, a sense of urgency propelling me. I needed to document this, to delve deeper into the history. But as I turned to leave, a chilling sound echoed through the cavern, a faint, childlike whisper, so soft yet unmistakably there. My flashlight flickered, casting ominous shadows on the cave walls. For a moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of being watched, the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. I hurried back through the passage, the whispers seeming to follow me until I emerged into the daylight. The tranquility of the farm now seemed a stark contrast to the darkness I had uncovered. Since that day, I've been consumed by the need to understand what I found. Each night, as I lay in bed, the whispers seemed to find me, seeping into my dreams. My days are spent poring over the documents, trying to piece together a story that was never meant to be told. I've started this journal as a record of my findings, a testament in case something happens to me. The truth of Whisper Hollow and its connection to Project MKUltra is a thread I cannot leave unpulled, no matter how deep or dark the unraveling might take me. Journal entry, May 14th, 2021. A week has passed since my unsettling discovery in Whisper Hollow. The normalcy of farm life feels like a distant memory now. My nights are restless, the whispers invading my sleep, urging me to delve deeper into this enigma. I decided to visit the local library, hoping to find some historical records that might shed light on Whisper Hollow's past. The librarian, an elderly woman with a knowing gaze, watched me with curiosity as I scoured through old newspapers and public records. There was nothing explicitly mentioning MKUltra or the cave, but I stumbled upon a forgotten piece of local lore. An article from the 1950s mentioned a government-funded institution near the outskirts of our town, supposedly a school for gifted children. It struck me. Could this be connected to the children in the photographs? The article was vague, but it mentioned the sudden and unexplained closure of the institution. I spent the next few days visiting the site where the institution once stood. Now, It's nothing but overgrown fields and the remnants of a foundation. However, hidden under layers of ivy and soil, I found a rusted sign with the faint imprint of a government seal and the words, "Project Talent Enhancement." The discovery sent chills down my spine. I recalled the haunting expressions of the children in the photographs, their eyes reflecting a depth of experience no child should ever know. It was becoming clear that Whisper Hollow held secrets tied to these government experiments, secrets that were purposefully buried. Each night, as I tried to piece together the information, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. It was as if the very walls of my house were urging me to uncover the truth. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that forces beyond my understanding were aware of my prying. It wasn't just the whispers that haunted me. Strange occurrences began to plague my days. I would find objects in my house moved or missing, and on one occasion I awoke to find a set of muddy footprints leading from my front door to the edge of the woods. I bought a camera to document these happenings, hoping to find a rational explanation. My research into MKULTRA revealed the extent of the CIA's mind control experiments during the Cold War. It was disturbing yet fascinating, a testament to the lengths governments will go to in the pursuit of power. I couldn't help but wonder if the children at that institution were part of something similar, a local manifestation of a national nightmare. As I write this, I can't help but feel a deep sense of responsibility to those children, to bring their story to light. I've started to reach out to older residents of the town, hoping someone might remember the institution or the children. But there's a palpable hesitance in their responses, a fear that perhaps some stones are best left unturned. Yet I cannot stop now. The whispers, the documents, the photographs, they have become a part of me, an obsession that I cannot shake off. I must continue to dig, to unravel this mystery, no matter how deep the roots of this conspiracy run. The truth is out there, hidden in the shadows of the past, and I am determined to bring it into the light. The sun was setting as I stood at the entrance of Whisper Hollow once again, its gaping maw inviting yet foreboding. The air was heavy with anticipation, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that I was stepping into a realm where forgotten secrets lay in wait. I had returned to the cave, driven by an inexplicable urge to uncover more, to delve deeper into its hidden depths. The flashlight in my hand was a feeble companion against the overwhelming darkness that engulfed the caverns. As I ventured further, the familiar eerie silence of the cave wrapped around me. The air grew colder, the walls closing in, as if the cave itself was aware of my intrusion. The narrow passage that led to the chamber where I had found the documents was just ahead. I squeezed through, the rough stone grazing my skin, a reminder of the cave's unwelcoming nature. Emerging into the chamber, I was struck by a sense of déjà vu. The metal box was still there, partially buried as I had left it. But it was what lay beyond the box that drew my attention. A wall that seemed oddly out of place, its surface smoother than the surrounding rock formations. I approached the wall, my hands trembling slightly as I touched its cold, smooth surface. It was then that I noticed something peculiar, a faint outline, almost invisible to the untrained eye. I traced the outline, and to my astonishment, a section of the wall moved slightly. Heart pounding, I pushed against the wall. It swung open, revealing a narrow, man-made tunnel. This was no natural formation. It was something else entirely, something deliberate. The realization that I was standing at the threshold of a deeper, more concealed part of the cave sent a shiver down my spine. With a deep breath, I stepped into the tunnel, the beam of my flashlight cutting through the thick darkness. The tunnel was claustrophobic, the air stale and filled with the scent of damp earth and something else, something metallic. As I progressed, the tunnel began to widen, eventually opening into a large, hidden chamber. The sight that greeted me was both astonishing and terrifying. The chamber was filled with old equipment, tables, chairs, and machines that resembled medical apparatus, all covered in layers of dust and cobwebs. It was like stepping into a time capsule, a forgotten laboratory frozen in time. In the center of the room was a large chair, with straps and an array of wires and electrodes. It was a chilling sight, reminiscent of the sinister experiments I had read about. The walls were lined with faded photographs, more images of children, their faces a haunting echo of the ones I had found earlier. I felt a rush of emotions: anger, sorrow, disbelief. This hidden chamber was a testament to the horrors that had taken place here, to the lives that were forever altered in the name of science and secrecy. As I explored the chamber, I came across a stack of journals, their pages yellowed with age. They contained detailed notes and observations, chilling accounts of experiments conducted on the children. It was overwhelming, the scope of what had been done here, the depth of the tragedy. The whispers returned then, louder than ever, filling the chamber with their haunting chorus. It felt as if the very souls of those who had suffered here were reaching out, their voices a mix of pain and plea. I knew I couldn't stay long. The weight of what this place represented was too much to bear. But I couldn't leave without documenting it, without evidence of what I had uncovered. I took photographs with my camera, capturing the grim reality of the chamber. As I made my way back through the tunnel, the whispers seemed to follow me, a constant reminder of the dark secrets hidden beneath Whisper Hollow. Emerging back into the night, I felt a sense of urgency. The truth had to be exposed, the story of those forgotten children told. I was no longer just an observer. I had become a guardian of their legacy, a voice for those who could no longer speak. The night was silent as I walked back to the farm, the weight of my discovery heavy on my shoulders. But there was a determination in my steps, a resolve to bring the darkness of Whisper Hollow into the light. Sitting alone in the dimly lit room, the evidence from Whisper Hollow laid out in front of me, I felt an overwhelming sense of urgency. The photographs, the chilling journals, the memories of the eerie chamber, they all formed pieces of a truth too significant to be kept hidden. With a steadfast resolve, I began to compile and share the story. The blog I created was a vessel for truth, a platform to bring the harrowing tale of Whisper Hollow into the light. My first post detailed my discovery, supported by the haunting images and journal excerpts. I clicked publish with a mix of apprehension and determination. Initially, the response was explosive. The post began to gain traction, sparking outrage, curiosity, and a flood of shares and comments. It seemed as though the voices of Whisper Hollow would finally be heard. But then, something unnerving happened. The night after the post went viral, my phone rang with an unknown number. The voice on the other end was cold, emotionless. "Stop digging," it warned. Things could get way worse. The caller didn't identify themselves, but the implication was clear. There was a power at play here, a shadowy presence lurking just out of sight. The next morning, I awoke to find my blog had vanished. Every post, every comment, every trace of the evidence I had uploaded was gone, scrubbed clean from the internet. I tried to repost, to recreate what was lost, but each attempt was futile. It was as if an invisible hand was erasing my efforts, wiping the slate clean. The phone call and the disappearance of my blog posts were too coincidental to be unrelated. A chilling realization set in. The story of Whisper Hollow, the secrets it held, were more dangerous and far-reaching than I had imagined. Someone, somewhere, had the power to silence the truth. The threats, the erasure of my blog, the unsettling feeling of being watched, it all created an atmosphere of paranoia and fear. Yet, deep down, there was a burning need to continue, to fight against this imposed silence. I started to document everything offline, keeping physical copies of all I had found. But the task felt Sisyphean, an uphill battle against an unseen and omnipotent adversary. As I sit here, writing this final entry in a traditional journal, the whispers of Whisper Hollow seem distant, like echoes from another world. The truth I had sought to expose is now shrouded in more mystery than ever. My story, the evidence, the revelations, all lost in the digital void, leaving behind a haunting question. Was it all just a figment of my imagination? The absence of the blog has sparked discussions, theories, and speculations among those few who had seen it. But without evidence, without proof, these stories are just whispers in the wind, easily doubted and dismissed. This journey into the depths of Whisper Hollow has taught me that some truths are elusive, slipping through our fingers when we try to grasp them. The shadows that lurk in the corners of our history are often deeper and darker than we dare to imagine. As I end this journal, I'm left with a lingering sense of unease, a feeling that the story isn't over. The whispers may have faded, but their echoes remain, a constant reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding. The truth of Whisper Hollow is out there, somewhere, waiting to be found. But for now, it remains hidden, a silent anomaly in a world that's not quite ready to believe.